Hello and welcome back to another quick short video on network analysis. So about a week or so ago, I was out at a customer site and they were telling me about a scenario where they had an internal breach, and specifically it was their finance servers, that essentially where they kept all their keys to the kingdom, their confidential Excel spreadsheets, turns out was accessed by a malicious employee internally that got a hold of all these documents. And so one of the things that got me thinking was, if they had Allegro, they could very easily set up an alert that allowed them to determine whether or not someone outside of that finance team had accessed those files, and if so, what files did they actually download. So what I did here just in my lab environment is I created an incident rule. So the incidents are essentially alerts. And you can see down here at the bottom, I created one that's called payroll files accessed outside of the finance team. And if we look at the configuration of this, I simply used regular expressions to locate the directory where all those Excel spreadsheet files were contained, as well as created a regular expression for the payroll.xls file. And also set up, as part of this alert, if the user is not in the finance team, and what this finance team is essentially an IP group that listed out the IP address or the subnet range of all the employees in their micro-segmented network for that finance group. And what I've done here is I said, hey, if anybody outside of that finance team accesses these files, or specifically the payroll XLS file, I want to know about it. I want to be alerted immediately, as well as I want to be able to capture a PCAP, so I can come down here and say on live traffic, by default we're saving off 5 seconds before the problem occurred and 5 seconds after the problem occurred. But essentially it's giving me an instant alert to when that file is being accessed outside of the finance team. And I have set this up also as a reporting channel to send off an alert to the syslog server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map a drive out to that file server and actually download that payroll file and kind of show you what happens here from an Allegro perspective. So I've mapped out to the NAS, and the payroll files happen to be under this pictures directory and in this finance directory, and I can see, oh, there's the payroll file. Now I could also set up an alert that would trigger just when I navigate to this directory. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this payroll file across my network and save it out on my desktop. And you can see immediately Allegro alerted me to the fact that someone outside of the finance team has accessed that file. So here is actually what gets sent in the syslog message, or an email, or an SNMP trap, depending on what reporting channel you've set up. But essentially it shows me the time that it occurred, how many times it's happened. So I've done this demo a few times, but also gives me a link to the connection details. So for example, if I click on this link, and again, this would be the same link that would be sent in the email alert, or in my case, the syslog alert. When I click on that link, what it does, it takes me directly into that connection. And you can see this is from the 118 to the .3. And it not only shows me when it happened and who it was to the connection level, but as an added bonus, we're also tracking application response time. So how fast did I download that file that I shouldn't have had access to? And then likewise, over here on the right hand side, I can click on this PCAP download button and actually get directly to that PCAP file. So if I double click this and bring it into Wireshark, I'm going to put in a Wireshark display filter for SMB2 commands just to kind of clean this up a little bit. And then boom, here are all the SMB requests, and you can see that it's showing me that yes, indeed, I accessed that payroll file, as well as being able to report who it was. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. Catch you on the next one.